are on the lower end of the price bracket compared to the other phones in the Asus Zenfone 3 family. They're supposed to be the more affordable option if you don't like the higher price of the Zenfone 3 and its more expensive brothers. The Zenfone 3 Laser specifically is supposed to be the true mid-range phone for people who still want a taste of the Asus Cool-Aid without having to fork out serious money for the Zenfone 3. Just like always, before we begin this review, let's take a look at the full specs of the Asus Zenfone 3 Laser. If you've been following the website since the debut of the new Zenfone 3 smartphones, you'll start to notice a pattern in terms of design. So the Zenfone 3 Deluxe and Ultra are the highest of the high end in terms of overall design and build quality, and sport aluminum bodies that are made from a single block of metal. The plain old Zenfone 3 uses a glass and metal body, while the Zenfone 3 Laser and Zenfone 3 Max have metal bodies mixed in with a little bit of plastic. The Zenfone 3 Laser has a similar design to the Zenfone 3 Max, so similar that you'd be hard-pressed to figure out which one is which if you weren't intimately familiar with the two. The easiest way to tell them apart is that laser autofocus system that's on the left side of the Asus Zenfone 3 Laser's camera module, which also gives the phone its name. Another design change is the fingerprint scanner on the Laser. The Max's fingerprint scanner is square-shaped, while the Laser has a more rectangular design. Aside from those changes and the slightly bigger physical size of the Laser, both phones are identical. The Zenfone 3 Laser has a metal body with curved sides and corners, though it's not completely made out of metal, since there's two strips of plastic on the top and bottom of the body where the antennas sit. Overall, the phone feels nice in the hand, and the curved sides make it easier to grip one-handed. While the Zenfone 3 Laser is more affordable than the Zenfone 3, overall build quality has not taken a hit. It feels nice and sturdy, and there are no gaps or obvious flaws on the exterior of the phone. The volume rocker is located in the obvious place, namely on the right side of the phone along with the power button. The 3.5mm jack is on the top, while the USB port is located on the bottom, with a single speaker grill flanking it on the right. The front of the device is dominated by the 5.5-inch Full HD IPS display. That display has 2.5D glass layered on top of it and is protected by Gorilla Glass 3. Physical capacitive keys located right below the display handle navigation. The Zenfone 3 Laser is outfitted with Qualcomm's Snapdragon 430 octa-core processor paired with 4GB of RAM and 32GB of expandable storage. The Snapdragon 430 chipset is starting to become a more common sight in mid-range smartphones due to its excellent balance of performance and power efficiency. The Snapdragon 430 might not score high marks in Antutu, but we found it to be quick enough for the occasional Android game like Asphalt 8, for example. Navigating through the phone's UI is fast and fluid, and the phone uses Android Marshmallow along with the Asus UI overlay dubbed Zen UI. So much of the same issues that we had with the software of the Zenfone 3 Max, and really any other Zenfone that's sold by Asus, is present on the Zenfone 3 Laser. It suffers from an almost unbearable amount of bloatware thanks to Zen UI. When we first connected the phone to our local network, it auto-updated a whopping 30+ apps from the get-go. The rectangular fingerprint scanner is pretty good, and despite having less surface area to read your finger because of its shape, it still managed to do a respectable job unlocking the phone in less than a second. The Zenfone 3 Laser's main appeal is the laser autofocus system that's positioned beside the main camera module. A common misconception is that the Laser AF is the only focusing tech that's responsible for making sure all of your photos are in focus. That is not the case. The Laser AF on the Zenfone 3 Laser is useful for taking photos up to 150 centimeters. Any more than that, and the regular focusing tech takes over. That means close-up and macro shots benefit from the laser autofocus system, allowing for fast focus for subjects that are up close and personal. The camera module, which uses Sony's IMX214 camera sensor, did its job well, producing photos with good clarity and color. Qualcomm's Snapdragon 430 processor has managed to impress us with its number crunching capabilities and relative power efficiency. While we didn't manage to get a good read of the phone's performance via PCMark's battery benchmark, which didn't work on this particular phone for some reason. We did record around a day's worth of battery life with moderate use on a single charge. The 3000 mAh battery and relatively power-efficient SD430 chipset is a great combo, delivering excellent battery life that'll last you throughout the day. So, at the end of the day, the Zenfone 3 Laser is a great mid-range phone that's not out of reach for most of the working class. It's a solid performer and can handle most, if not all, Android apps you throw at it. It has an impressive camera as well, and as long as you do your part, it's capable of producing really good photos in a pinch. At 11,995 pesos, it's slightly more expensive than the Zenfone 3 Max, but the extra cash you spend for it is worth it. So that's basically it for this full review of the Zenfone 3 Laser. We hope you liked that particular review. If you have any questions about the Zenfone 3 Laser, please leave them down below. We will try and get to them as soon as we can if we're not neck deep in other reviews. This has been John Nieves. Thank you very much. Unbox, signing out.